beautiful people. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Courage to be Visible Masterclass with myself and Shirly Joy Weiss. If you guys don't know who this magnificent woman is, I'll introduce her in a moment. But for now, let's just feel the music. Take a few deep breaths. And start to create some sacred space. If you want to close your door, our intention is to hold the space for about an hour. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to... There we go. So our intention is to hold this space for about an hour. But it is possible with Q&A at the end that it's going to go a little bit over. So as you're setting up sacred space, I just want to let you guys know, hopefully you're watching this in the YouTube, on YouTube, basically, on the YouTube page, because we're going to be checking comments there. So make sure to, if you're on Google Plus or you're somewhere else, just make sure to go to the YouTube page. And you have that in the newsletter I sent you. Or simply go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, and it's in my your subscription box. Okay. So who are you? Who is this girl? This gorgeous goddess sitting next to me. I mean, seriously. So I am so inspired to introduce this beautiful, amazing goddess, Shirly Joy Weiss. She is my soul sister, first and foremost, since we were 12 years old, and I won't give you numbers, so you don't need to calculate how many years that is, but it's a lot. And she is a soul purpose activation coach and a spiritual counselor, and we've just been on this journey of life together for so many years, kind of living these parallel paths. And Shirley's deeply, deeply inspiring to me. And if you guys haven't been catching me on Periscope, basically what I was sharing there, so I witnessed what she was doing on Periscope. She did a 10-day Courage to Shine challenge with these incredible lessons, like basically giving away an incredible 10-day course with these powerful lessons and this whole tribe coming together in love and inspiration. And I was like, can we just blast this out to even more people and actually share this with my tribe? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So thank you, sister soul. It's so good to be here. Yeah. And everyone, thank you for joining us live. Thank you for being here with us. So just let us know that you can hear us, pretty please, just by typing into the comments section underneath this video. And that lets us know that you can hear us. We have all the windows open right now. It is very hot. Heat wave. Heat wave. We're on the ocean. It's beautiful, but it's there's a heat wave in Los Angeles. So if you're having trouble hearing us because of all the windows open, we will turn this place into a sauna and close the door. So just let us know.
Exactly. But do know what you're hearing is the Pacific Ocean directly below us.
Yes.
And the Pacific Coast Highway, and we're just surrounded by grace and beauty, and we just feeling very, very inspired in general, but certainly now, and we have so much juice to bring to you guys, and because you guys ultimately inspire us, and the way you guys show up, I see how you interact with Veronica and the amazing community you have built, and just know how much you guys make us show up. You feed us too as well, and we just want to continue to give and give and give. And so here it is, Friday night. Let's go. Let's continue giving.
Yes. So you're in the right place if you are somebody who is deeply, deeply inspired to share something with the world, with your community. If there's a calling in your heart and you feel like you've been on the sidelines, you've just kind of been sitting and watching other people share their gifts and other people break through and other people really step into a leadership, or what I call being leaders of love, and you feel that calling, but something's been holding you back, like something's been holding you in a state of fear, then this is for you. We're going to go through this powerful process, and really the 3 mistakes that, I don't even know what we're calling this, but basically the 3...
keeping you from being visible, the 3 mistakes keeping you from being visible, because we were really excited about that topic, because Veronica, she's really the visibility queen, right? And the way she has shined, like the way she shines on Facebook and the journey, not Facebook, YouTube, you know, and her journey through YouTube and everything she learned and everything she broke through to being visible on YouTube. And then that's such a part of my work with change makers and aspiring coaches and healers and teachers, that we thought that would be the most juicy topic to bring together. Oh yeah, you can hear us.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And so, yeah, this is all about the courage to be visible. And we're going to break down and bring both of our wisdoms on 3 huge mistakes that we see commonly happen in people who just want to get out in the world that's keeping them from being visible in a radiant, confident, authentic, and joyful manner rather than like white knuckling or just not doing it at all, right?
Yeah. And you know what? Here's the bottom line. Your light is a gift to our world. And it's not even, the reason we're doing this, you know, masterclass, this live Google Hangout, is not to say like you have to get out there and save the world. If you don't share your gift, like there's something wrong with you. It's really more about life becomes so much more fun, so much more inspiring when we step into our full potential and really share those gifts and step on to that magic carpet ride that we were talking about. So I feel in my heart, along my journey, you guys know I took a major dip. I was in a very dark place several years ago. And when I started to share myself on YouTube, you guys might not know this, but it literally transformed my life. It transformed my life because I had some place to connect and share myself. Even though I was on my knees most of the time in the redwoods, bawling my eyes out, I at least had a place to start sharing value. And if you have that feeling inside of you that's like, I just want to share this, I just want to share this, you can. Even if you are in the dark night of the soul, even if you think you don't have it all together, and we're going to share with you how to do just that. I mean, now's the time. So why do you do this? Like, what is your call and your inspiration to?
Why do I do this? Well, first of all, I just love what you said because this leads into why I
feel
do
like
this.
We're on the Shirley and Veronica show. I'm not used to having. We used to perform on stages as little girls, so I'm like, this is so much more fun. There's no script. It's just us and you, and we get to connect live. It's awesome.
And I have a feeling it's going to be the first time of many.
Yes.
But yeah, I do this because I too had a very parallel journey of being someone who for a really long time knew I had something to bring, I had something to share, and I would get on stage and my knees would shake.
Yeah.
And I would put myself out there, but it'd be really painful and scary. And so I would put one foot in and then I'd leave. And so it was like this constant 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Yeah. And so of course I was sending the message to the universe that I'm not fully in. So things wouldn't flow. And the ironic twist of it all, you know, the very thing that we fear, and this is why I love what you just said, the very thing that I find we fear, like getting out there, is the very thing that actually shows us who we are. It's the very thing that breaks us free. And what I mean by that is that it's like you just said, YouTube, when you finally got out there, you were in the midst of this dark night of the soul, and YouTube was like your saving grace. But the way I see it is that you were stepping into yourself, to your truth, and you were sharing yourself authentically. You were taking a stand for yourself, and you were being your true nature, which is creative, which is open, which is loving, which is communal, which is collaborative, which is sharing. And when we step into that creative place, we discover who we are. But most of all, we feel good because we're being our true selves. And so when we hold back, we feel like a fraud. We feel bad because we're not being ourselves. It's ironic. And when I started to also learn how to break through those fears and those withholds and those pains, it's like, why didn't I do this sooner? You know, it's just I found out. I unleashed this channel of creativity and brilliance through me. We were talking about this earlier, that like we don't have enough lifetimes to create all the ideas coming through us, because once you open that channel,
it just flows. It's like a geyser. It's like you can't keep up with all of it. There's no such thing as writer's block. No. That's a myth. It doesn't exist.
No. You're just getting caught up in your head and in your stories and your patterns. And so it looks like writer's block, but we are infinitely creative. Why? Because it's actually not, I don't look at it as me being creative. I'm a channel. We're all channels of this universal creativity that's endless. And as soon as you open that channel and learn to access it and turn it on, or just be it, because it's just our being. There's no really turning it on. We are that. It's endless. It's
absolutely
endless.
And by the way, it took me 9 years to write my first book. So maybe writer's block is not a myth necessarily. It was just, I was living what you were just describing, which is just in fear in my head, trying to make it perfect. I was locked in all of that. So we're going to dive into the 3 key mistakes that, you know, people, or myths, beliefs that people hold, that holds them back, that may be holding you back from stepping into sharing your gift with the world. And that can be anything. It doesn't have to be a coach or a speaker, or it could be, you know, having your art, your music out in the world, being being a creator, even creating products and being the face for your brand, and, you know, whatever that is for you.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so glad you said that, because the challenge I just did was called the Courageous Soulpreneur Challenge. And so it's like, I think it's for entrepreneurs, but I had singers there. I had graphic designers, I had coaches, I had teachers, I had healers, I had moms. Because these principles are really about living fully, authentically, confidently, knowing how to just show up in life spontaneously in the moment. It's really applied to everything. And
so if you're ready, type in love into the comment section so we know you're with us. And at the end, we're going to be taking questions. So actually, through this process, please feel free to write your questions in as we go. And that way, we're going to have them already at the end. So let me just make sure. Awesome. Amanda's here.
Hi,
Caitlin's here. Janae.
Caitlin.
So beautiful. Hello, Andrea, Katla. Awesome.
Nice.
So you guys, this is how we create a grid, just by putting in comments, and it's really creating the safe container for all of us to really step up and step out of our comfort zones. And this is including all of us. Just know think of it as a transmission or something happening here where we are all setting the intention right here and now. And I invite you to set your unique intention to receive maximum value, maximum benefit, and only to receive that which is for your highest good. Okay, so if you're with me on that, just write a love or a yes in the comment section and really actively choose to receive maximum value. Very, very powerful to set that intention. All right. So, Sister Soul. Okay, I have to move over. So, share with you guys a little something. So at the end, Shirley's going to share a very bountiful gift that she's actually going to be giving you. So at the end of this beautiful masterclass, she's going to share that with you. So yeah, let's do this.
Let's do this. Awesome. Beautiful. So yeah, we're going to go over the 3 mistakes. And, you know, we've both been in this field as coaches to a lot of, you know, aspiring creatives, really is what we can call them, not just change makers, healers, coaches. And so we dove into what were like the top 3 that we commonly find. Yeah. And so these were the top 3 that we're going to go through. The first is fraud. Fraud phobia. So this is all about feeling like a fraud, right? So many of us have that experience. I'm going to be found out. They're going to think I'm a fraud. So we're going to go all into that one and the truth about feeling like a fraud, why you feel like a fraud, and how to break through that. Awesome. And then number 2 is who am I syndrome. Woo, that's the whole, who am I to bring this through? Who am I to be a teacher? Who am I to be a coach, a healer, a guide, a leader? Who am I to call myself a leader? So that's the second one. And then the third one is this fear that we find so often, that you trip up, mess up, screw up.
And it's a panic, right? It's really like, oh my God, what if I fall? And I used to have that terror as a little girl. 4 years old, I was pushed on stages, and I remember fearing, terrified. Like, all I could think about was that I was going to trip on the wire. And I would black out. Like, I wouldn't even remember what I was doing as a little actor on stage. Because that is the fear that can really run somebody's. I'm gonna fall on my face, and then what? Yeah. So it's a good one.
It's a really, really good one. How to just get that panic, because that's the paralyzer, right? That's the one that just doesn't even get you out there. Yeah. And so we're gonna cover so many good, juicy, deep ones to really give you some good.
So what is fraud phobia? Because she said this to me once, and I was like, wow. Let's uncover that.
Oh God, I see this one so much, and this relates a lot to my story, because the way a lot of my insecurities showed up was having super high standards for myself that I got through society, through my parents. And so I constantly had this feeling inside of me that I didn't know enough, and I was a fraud. So I was constantly going after degree after degree after degree, and I have this rap sheet from here to the floor.
Her resume is like, wow.
And ironically, that's not what really taught me who I really am. That's not even the material that I bring to my clients, but really because why? Because I was running after validation outside. I was looking for my value and my worth in letters behind my name. And because I was looking in the wrong place, I continued to feel like a fraud. And no matter how much I knew, I still felt like I was going to be found out.
Yeah.
I still felt like I was going to show up and like not know what to say. I still felt, you know, that I'm not a leader. I'm not a coach. And I would even say my title and I'd be like, oh, that's like, it's almost like a lie, like fake. And I see that really commonly.
It's very common. Yeah.
So that's what we mean by that fraud feeling. And you know, it's, the cost of it is huge, because what I discovered too was there's something in claiming your role. You know, there is a power that starts to happen when you say, okay, I'm here to claim my role. But we're going to actually talk a little bit more about that, around the who am I syndrome. But, you know, it's really, to speak of it in terms of like the work I've been doing, I identified 7 barriers to owning your authentic value. And I get really into them in my work. And this is one of the huge ones. You know, constant look at yourself like a fraud. And I identified many different reasons why people don't own their value and continue to not get out because they don't feel they're worthy, and continue to withhold, and because they feel like a fake. They continue to go after degree after degree after degree after degree.
And can you relate to this is my question.
Yes.
Is this something that you can relate to? Beautiful. Just looking at your comments here. Awesome. Ready to receive. Yes. Okay. Good. Awesome. Love. Okay. Good. Yeehaw.
And I spoke about this in my current challenge, and we spoke about feeling like a fraud. And I'm going to go into one of the tools and tips that I gave in my challenge, but I feel like giving a unique one as well today, because you know we're always about giving.
Let's do it.
You know what I discovered, and I want to see if you relate to this.
Yes.
The feeling like I'm fraud, it's actually, people have it backwards. Because what I discovered is one of the reasons why people feel like a fraud is because you're actually, it's not because you don't know enough to do this action, but you feel like a fraud because you're not doing what you're here to do.
Wow. So it's not that you feel like a fraud because you're out there doing like a coach or whatever, and you don't have enough skills, but it's because you're actually on the sidelines and you feel like a fraud because you're so infinite, so powerful, so amazing. And we all are, right? You included. And when you're on the sidelines, it feels so incongruent that there's that sense of
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. And one day it just like hit me, and I'm like, oh my God, people feel like a fraud because they're not doing their soul's purpose. People feel like a fraud because they're not sharing their gifts. And tell me, as soon as you tapped into that creative flow and you just started getting out there with your work, suddenly, tell me you didn't feel a lot of that dissolve, that feeling of not good enough. It just started to flow through you. When you get into action, when you start doing it, you start to, that feeling of fraud no longer exists. That's one of the huge 7 barriers. It's like really this funny cosmic joke.
Yeah, and I'm also hearing like if you do put yourself out there, and then I've noticed this in myself, if I hold back, or I have a huge like perfectionist syndrome, it's way less now today than it used to be. But if I'm not in that authentic place, if I'm not being vulnerable, if I'm not being my true self, or if I'm not being bold when I really feel bold, that can feel off too. So even in the midst of sharing, holding back can make one feel like a fraud, or whatever word you want to use.
Completely. So that's like, that in itself is a tip.
Yeah.
It's just like, you just got to do it.
You just got to do it. Clarity and confidence follow action. It's not like clarity doesn't come and then you take action.
Yes.
That happens, sure, but mostly clarity follows action. So as you start taking action in your life, it's like you figure it out as you go. You just go. It literally, the path starts to unfold. I share this often. It's like you just start to see the path illuminates. So it's recognizing that as you take action, clarity is going to immediately rise in you. Like, oh, I love this. This feels like we just did this. Let's do this masterclass together. Clarity is following this. Like, oh, this is fun. Or, oh, this isn't fun. Let's not do this. Or, yeah, let's do this again. So it's just continuously following that beautiful trail, that golden path, that yellow brick road, so to speak. And clarity follows action. Like really, really take that in. not the other way around.
Totally, and I love that you also said confidence follows action, because creativity happens spontaneously in the moment. If it's not spontaneous, you're just regurgitating the past. You're just regurgitating old knowledge. And so creativity, true, new, fresh wisdom happens spontaneously in the moment. You know, a master creates wisdom, creates truth spontaneously in the moment. And I know we've talked about this so many times that we don't even plan for our sessions with clients anymore, because the greatest wisdom that comes through, that is the most transformational with our clients, happens when we're super present. That amazing insights, ideas, thoughts that I had never studied anywhere, thought of anywhere, read anywhere, but come through me. And not only are they kind of like amazing for the client, you know, it's just like, it's exactly what the client needed to hear, but it even kind of rocks my world too. I'm often like, some of the stuff that comes through, I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? And that happens when I'm writing. That happens when I'm in a session with a client.
Making videos.
When I'm making videos and we get in that flow. You guys are going to see that in 10 minutes, we're going to even be in so much more flow. That's even greater stuff is going to start coming through.
Yes.
And it happens spontaneously. And you start to have confidence in that. And you start to enjoy not prepping. You start to enjoy showing up spontaneously. And you learn how to show up really present to let that greater wisdom through. And that's another way of understanding confidence follows action.
Yes, absolutely. And the final piece before we move into the next one is just to recognize also the confidence. If you break down the word confidence, it's con fidel, right? So with fidelity, confidence or self-confidence is, who are you being faithful to? When you are faithful to yourself and your truth and your creative expression and what feels true for you, what feels inspiring for you, you share that with the world, you step into that. That builds confidence. But if we are being loyal to some illusion in our head, some fear, some idea of what we should be for other people, then we're literally disconnected from confidence. So it's who are you being? Self-confidence is a loyalty to self. And then I would say even deeper, it's a loyalty to self with a capital S, and really stepping into, you know, loyalty to the moment and trusting that whatever unfolds is for the highest good, even if it looks messy, even if it looks a completely different way than you had planned. So I just keep hearing in my head right now to really blast this forward, like action, just to go into action that's inspiring and juicy, and to be loyal to your unique self, because you are so beautiful, powerful, and there's only one of you. So you and your authentic expression is literally the gift that you're here to deliver. It's what you're here to share. And
it happens spontaneously in the moment.
Totally.
When you're out of your head, I love that you said that, loyalty to the moment.
Yes.
When you're out of your head and you drop into your body and you own yourself and you just allow the moment to inform you and to bring something unique through you as you. And someone out there is going to connect to you in a much infinitely greater way than they're going to connect to the two of us.
Exactly.
Someone out there might think we're too much, or too little, or too fluffy, or too whatever, too feminine, or too masculine. I don't know, right?
Too or not enough something.
Yeah. Your story, your perfect, unique story has something that someone needs to hear, that's going to touch someone in a way that we can't, in a way that Oprah can, in a way that Marianne Williamson can't.
Yes. And that ties straight into who am I syndrome. But who am I to do this? Who am I to be great? Who am I to share this gift? So what? Like what? No more. No. We're gonna stop that. No. We're gonna do the 3 snaps to that. Cancel, clear, delete. Boom, no more.
You gotta get this straight, okay? This whole who am I, just to talk into it, just to tell you what it's about. It's not like, who am I to be a teacher? No, I'm still just a student. I have a lot of clients that feel so comfortable in the student chair, and they don't see the bright lights. And some of you watching this and talking straight to you, you are already this magnificent light that wherever you go, you leave a trail of just love and joy and creativity and passion and depth. You already are a teacher. You already are a teacher. You are teaching every moment of the day. You are modeling. You are sharing a way of being with the world the majority of the world doesn't know. You are already a teacher. I'm going to say that again. You already are a leader.
Yeah.
And so this whole who am I is just a story, a veil in your mind.
Yeah.
And so this is like one of the easiest ones to actually break when you realize there's nothing to step into. There's nothing to really claim. I always say it's time you claim it, but really you already are doing it. Every time you go buy an eco product, and a lot of us in our tribe are that way.
Yeah.
Every time you show up at Starbucks and you're just like, hi, you know, most people don't do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're being a model and a teacher, but let's get to more real examples, because I know all of you watching this,
Mm-hmm.
you have wisdom, you have knowledge, you have experiences that have shaped your world, that have enlightened you in some way, that have helped you break through some struggle, some fear, some insecurity, some pain.
Yes.
And the majority of our world doesn't know about that.
Mm.
And
The vast majority.
the vast majority.
The vast majority.
Exactly. So A, you just already with what you know, you can transform so many people. And B, you're already doing it and you're not even realizing it. So that's really what this one is about. Like this whole who am I? We want to just pull back the veil. We want to call the bluff.
Yeah. And I love what Shirley's saying, because it's literally just an idea. It's a story that is simply saying, who am I? I can't do this. Who am I? It's literally just a thought. So what if it was literally just a silly thought in your mind that has been disconnecting you from the reality? And Shirley said this to me the other day. It was so powerful. She pulled me on stage. Some of you may know this. I shared this on Periscope. But she pulls me on stage on the Venice Boardwalk to basically sing. And I did. And I started rapping, like freeform rapping. I don't know where this was coming from, but I was just singing like this whole rap about how the people are so beautiful and powerful and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah.
She was shining. It was amazing. I just want to break for a second.
Okay.
Pause. Don't stop.
Okay.
People, we were in front of this whole restaurant. People were freaking
They
out.
were,
They were clapping. They were like, woo!
they were clapping. It's funny though, I walked away very, very shy from the experience, right? And by the way, if I can put myself out there in the world, you can too, because I'm extraordinarily sensitive, vulnerable, soft, and all of those things. And I put myself out there, and it is the most fun thing in the world. So, but in this particular experience, it was terrifying because there wasn't that separation of technology. It was just people right there. And as they were clapping, it was actually hard to take it in, because the thought that came into my head was, why are they clapping? And the thought that actually came into my head was, wow, how generous of the guy to invite us on stage. Like lack of self-worth in that moment came up for me. And so as we walked away, I was like, why were they clapping? Like who am I to get on this stage where, you know? So the main thing that I want to say here is that it was just a belief. And Shirley says to me, Veronica, your ordinary is somebody else's extraordinary. Do you get that? Your ordinary little rap song about how they're beautiful is extraordinary to them, that somebody's reminding them of their beauty and their worth. And that like landed for me like a freaking like boom, baba boom. Like it just like was like, wow, my ordinary is someone else's extraordinary. And that will stay with me forever. So just know that your ordinary, what you consider ordinary, is somebody else's extraordinary, and they're waiting to hear it from you. Exactly. They're waiting for you, your message, your vehicle, your presence. They're going to get you. They're going to link with you, like Shirley was saying. Not me, not Shirley, you. There's a resonance with you. So
exactly. And really, I'm so glad you brought up this story, because it's like we live in our own little bubbles,
yeah.
right? And we're so accustomed to ourselves and our routines
yeah.
that we don't realize the uniqueness of us. And we don't realize the beauty of us.
Yes.
And so to you, it was very, and perhaps because you do know your potential as a singer, and you've had moments where you sang really, to your standards, extraordinarily, you know, you got hooked, as we all do, because we're also pulling the veil off of like leaders are perfect. You know,
right.
Every human gets hooked. So she had a hooked moment.
A big hook.
She got hooked because she's human. And I was like, whoa, I know it feels like really ordinary to you, but you didn't see it from I was on the sidelines recording. People were freaking out Because A, she's extraordinary, right? What is ordinary to her is extraordinary to most people, but B, most people would have never thought that we were walking by the Venice boardwalk and two random girls have the ovaries to get up on stage.
I love that she doesn't say the ovaries. Like,
you know, and that was really extraordinary. Both of us got on and we didn't have any lyrics. We just started oohing and ahhing and jamming with this band. And that was so extraordinary to people that we had the ovaries to just enjoy life in that moment and be free. We were subconsciously, as Marianne Williamson says in her famous quote, giving others permission to shine as we were shining. You know? And so I was just like, I know it felt ordinary to you because you're so used to living this way. You're so used to even singing bigger ways. So perhaps you got a little hooked in that moment. It's extraordinary to other people. And so the invitation to all of you guys is not to look at yourself as ordinary, but start to find proof of your extraordinariness. But there's a trick here, though. It's like very subtle because we also don't want to make it an ego play as well. And so what I always remind myself is that we're all special. So when I say I'm special, it's not because I'm more special or less special, but this is just the way I'm special. You know, and we're all here to bring something special through. And I'm just discovering, when I look for proof of how I'm special, I'm just discovering the gifts that I'm here to bring through, not because I'm better than people. These are just if you want to use the word God or universal touch, whatever gifts, wherever they come from, that I'm given here, that were cultivated and accumulated by my unique journey, so I can bring them. We all have them. Yes. I've had every kind of client with every kind of background, educated, not, rich, poor, from little towns, from big towns, and they all are gifted. Every single one of us. It's just about owning your unique extraordinariness. And remembering that the majority of people, like you said, the majority of people don't have that in their lives. And thanks to you being willing to get on Periscope or on YouTube, now they do.
Yes. Yeehaw! Yeah. Okay, so now what do people do when we get to number 3, which is what if they trip up, mess up, screw up?
Yes. What happens if they do, or if they fear that they will?
If they fear that they
will.
Yes,
exactly.
There really is no mess up, screw up.
Amen. I love that, exactly.
Yeah.
So fear that you'll fear up, trip up, mess up, screw up, panic. So good. There's so many ways we can address this, actually.
Have you ever experienced that?
Like actually tripping up and screwing up? Or the fear?
The fear.
Oh my God. It paralyzed me for like 10 years.
Never experienced, just every day for 10 years of my life.
Here's what I'll tell you.
And thank you guys I see your comments. Vivian's here. They're like, and I just see some of your comments. It's beautiful to feel you guys live. So
awesome.
Feel free to write in any questions and we're going to check them after.
Awesome. So, yeah, I've actually been a coach for 15 years. People don't know that because why didn't they know that? Because I kept myself in hiding for the majority of those 10 years. And I would have this like very comfortable little part-time practice on the side. It's very in my comfort zone and it's very safe.
She's been my coach for 15 years, literally what I've been going to.
But yeah, I mean, so yeah, I felt that paralysis before.
Just a little bit. Yeah, so just know that's a normal feeling. With creativity comes fear. Elizabeth Gilbert just wrote a powerful book I have not read yet, but I've read excerpts of it. It's called Big Magic, and it's all about that. It's all about just when you move towards your creative, when you start sharing yourself creatively, fear is your companion. It actually joins you on the ride. It will show up. It is normal, and that's a really good sign. It's saying you're pushing your edges. Amen. And amen to you for having the courage to put yourself out there anyway. And this is where self-care, I feel, comes in really, really handy, to take extra good care of yourself as you put yourself out there.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I didn't think we would talk about that one, but I really like you mentioned that one because what I always say around self-care is that if I'm tired, I'd love to hear your take on this. If I'm tired, I get spiritually lazy. And what I mean by that is I see every moment in life as a red pill, blue pill moment. Every moment in life, I get to choose faith or fear. Every moment in life, I get to choose my value or see myself as worthless. Every moment in life, I get to really express and unleash my true creative, defined, joyous, brilliant self, or I get to shut down. And if I'm tired or drained, it's more likely I choose the shutdown.
Yes.
The feeling bad. It's much easier. So that's a really, really good one.
It's essential. Yeah. Make sure that cup is fizzled.
Yeah. Good.
So
how do we prevent the paralysis?
What do we do about that? How do we dance? Oh, we definitely dance. We sing. Before we were starting this webinar, we were just like, oh, good day. What were you singing? What mantra was it?
Upside, hoa, sacheda, sachadoa, hard.
I don't know this one.
Upside, hoa, sacheda, sachadoa, hard. It's the remover of obstacles. It removes negativity.
So that's a form of self-care. And actually, as you break through and as you move forward and as you start sharing your gift, you start to notice it's a little bit delayed. So we're seeing ourselves on screen dancing right now, but we're not dancing. So it's pretty classic. But you start to discover what those self-care principles or practices are that really support you. Singing is such a big one.
Oh my God, completely. Singing actually builds your aura. It makes you stronger. It builds your spleen. So it makes your spleen is related to your feeling of I can.
Yes.
You're lymphatic, and so it's actually can really even build up your confidence on the nervous system and physical level.
Yeah. So like as
we digress,
it's just like more reason to sing it up. So here's the thing. This is what's helped me along the journey, and I wrote a whole book about it, the Diamond Process. But basically, the only reason we ever fear screwing up, messing up, tripping up, is because we're afraid that people are going to see a part of us that we don't deem as worthy, valuable, or acceptable in our society. So awkwardness, let's say, that's one example, being awkward or being shy or not being eloquent enough or not being this, not being that. We'll go with awkwardness because I have so much of that. When I finally dropped the perfectionist and realized that there is an awkward facet of myself that says really ridiculous things in the worst possible moments, when I started to just own that side of myself, for example, and there's many more facets of myself as there are with you. We are just these multifaceted, brilliant diamonds. As you start to own and accept the parts of you that you judge as not lovable or acceptable and you're ashamed of, you don't want anyone to see that side of you. If you start wearing that side of you confidently and actually show it, be like, yeah, I'm the most awkward, girl or guy on the planet, and start owning that, it can't trip you up anymore. The only thing that ever trips you up is some idea that there's something wrong with you. I'm gonna tell you in this moment, I am telling you or sharing with you in this moment that there's nothing wrong with you. Nothing. As you are right now, in this moment, in this body, with this breath, in your life story, where you are on the map, in this moment, you are here, wherever you are, whatever emotion is present, whatever your body looks like, whatever the ideas and thoughts are in your head, however many friends you have or don't have, whatever your current circumstances are, there's nothing wrong with you. There might be things you want to transform. There might be things that you're moving towards, but it's really important. The only way to break through this one, whatever this one is, is to accept where you are right now. And that's a journey. And that's what will inspire people, because they will feel in you this radical ease inside and self-acceptance. And that's what they're going to want to be around. It really doesn't have to do with what you're saying. It has to do with the energy that it's riding on. And they're going to be like, what is it about this girl or guy that is so comfortable in his or her skin? And I'll tell you, there's no way to that deep comfort inside until you get radically honest with yourself and look at the things you do not like about yourself and you would do anything to change, and own it and wear it like a badge of honor. Yeah, I'm 20 pounds overweight. Yeah, I'm awkward as hell. Yeah, I'm broke. Yeah, whatever that is, own that part of you and know that it is like Chris Carr says something like this: flaws are beauty marks. These are your beauty marks. No one else has that unique story. And that's the vehicle. that's the vehicle you get to share with people. That's where your personal story is going to bust out, like Shirley was saying, the who am I syndrome and the fraud syndrome and all of that, because you have an expertise that nobody else has, and the very things that you've been trying to get rid of and the very things you fear tripping over and revealing, like, oh my God, what if someone sees that I trip and fall, I'm not perfect? That very thing is the vehicle that's going to help people connect with you. They're going to be like, wow, she's real. She's afraid just like me. So really, really powerful. Own your facets. Own that awkwardness. Own the parts of you you don't like, and get very honest about those parts of you. Get very real with it. And say, yeah, this is me, that's me, that's me. I've been trying to hide this. I've hated this about me. It's time to shift it, and it's time to bring it to the light. This is all me, and I'm awesome, and I'm confident, and I'm beautiful, and all of it. Light and shadow. It's all beauty.
Oh, amen, sister.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking at this little paper that just says, you know, trip up, mess up, screw up, you know, panic. And all of this is just created by how you relate to the parts that she's talking about. And it's you're pushing down and suppressing all of it and judging yourself and buying into beliefs around and conclusions around these aspects is what gets you to trip up and mess up, because it keeps you from being in the present moment. It keeps you from being an integrated whole being. An integrated whole being doesn't mean you get rid of parts and you only carve out. You carve out parts you don't like and suddenly, no, an integrated whole being is whole. And the only way those parts are going to stop nagging at you and pulling at you and running the show is when you integrate them and love them.
Yes.
And so what I always like to say too, you know, like as we're working on this emotional level, which is so awesome, I was just saying this to a client today. You see, when these parts come up, they're coming up because your true you know, the whole radiant, confident, courageous you, it's coming up to the surface. So the parts that, you know, really kind of are like the old accumulated, old belief systems and parts are kind of coming up, you know, to be integrated, you know, so that the other one can really like, so the whole you can emerge.
Yes.
And the problem is that when they come up, you feel that insecurity, or you feel that lack of self-worth, or you feel that fear you're going to mess up, or you feel all kinds of fears and insecurities, and you buy into these feelings, and you start making all kinds of conclusions about yourself. You start to think that it says something about you, or you start to think that it says something about what's about to happen. Oh, this fear means I'm not going to do good, or this fear means that it's saying something about what may happen on stage or in front of the camera or anything. And you make up into all these conclusions. You get all caught up in your head. You're no longer in the present moment.
Exactly.
You totally disconnect yourself from the flow of wisdom. Well, there's no disconnecting, but you create a barrier to that with all this thinking and this inner panic. And that stuff is up to be loved. That's why that stuff is up. That stuff isn't up to warn you that something might go wrong. That stuff isn't up to tell you that there's something wrong with you. That stuff is up to be loved, because somewhere along the way, that little girl in you made up a conclusion that she did something bad, or that she's alone, or so many different versions, right? And that stuff is coming up because it's no longer aligned with that whole being that's ready to express itself. And so it's there to be loved. Yes. And so when I feel those feelings, and like we said, we also pull constantly the veil back on the perfect leader delusion. When those fears come up in me, and they come up in me in those stories and panic, like, oh, what's going to happen? And oh my God, I don't have enough time. Oh my God, what did I get myself into? And oh my God, am I going to fail and trip on my face? And am I going to know what to say on this Periscope with Veronica, YouTube with Veronica? All the stories. I can take a deep breath, come back in my body. I hear you. I know you're really freaked out right now, and I love you. And there's no quicker way to get back into the present moment for me. Just like say, I love you, I get you. I love you, I love you. I know you're scared, and I love you. And that dissolves the energy so quickly for me, and I enter my heart again, and suddenly I'm actually in the present moment again. And then suddenly I'm like, oh yeah, what was I doing?
Yeah.
And I go back, right?
Yes. And then that geyser flushes through again, that spiritual like insight, the infinite creativity just goes whoosh. And it just starts flowing through. But what you just said, like, please feel that love that she just sent inward. And how long that part inside has been longing for that level of love and that level of presence and attention. And your path Like, wouldn't you say that this transformational path of stepping into being a leader of love or a soulpreneur or whatever you want to call it, it literally takes you on the fast train to transformation. It is the fast path to evolution. And I personally feel that getting more leaders of love out there, more of us sharing our messages, the reason we're doing such a service to humanity is actually not primarily to help others. That is a natural byproduct. It's more so to liberate each of us into the highest possible level of consciousness, because that is what we're here to that's how we transform the world. It's literally, the rest is a bonus. The rest is like, hallelujah, we're like gifting people with all this overflow. But you know, as you start to share with yourself, all of your shabib is gonna come up. And that's why this is all so brilliant. You know, it's like what Shirley was describing about the fraud phobia and the who am I syndrome and the mess up, screw up, trip up, you know, panic. It's all going to come up. And the question is, how are you going to rise to the occasion? How will you move through it? So most people will crumble. And I will tell you that this woman, and it like makes me want to cry, has so many times on my path has pulled me to the other side. So I've picked up the phone, called you, and I've been like, I'm done. I can't move forward another step, you know, my spirit's just tired or whatever it is. And she has a way of bringing this value. I arrived here, and yeah, I won't even get into that, but she has a way of showing you your value in a way that will literally make it lock in and root down so that you have it forever. From the other day, her pulling me on stage and her perception of things shifted me. She transformed me, and it was, the angels show up when you need them. It's divine. But you know, another reason I wanted to make this is to introduce you to this presence. And I don't talk shit, and I'm sorry that I am cursing right now. I never bring somebody onto this beautiful, in this community, if I don't actually go to them personally to hold me accountable, but also to hold space for me as I rise, because you know, it's a continual blossoming process. And this woman is just, she's it. She's the real deal. And I thank you for bringing this message and this gift and this powerful, your presence. Like, look at, hello. this powerful heart. Like she, you know, it's just like, woo, new paradigm of leadership, you know, right here. So,
yeah, thank you for saying that. And of course, she's been that for me as well. And I don't mean to deflect. I'm not deflecting. I'm receiving. I'm a little teary. And because I'm also just feeling our tremendous journey and how all of us, all leaders have coaches and mentors. All coaches have coaches and mentors. We don't do this alone. We never do this alone.
There's a whole village.
There's a whole village. And all of us, you know, and our ability to continue to show up, because I have my days too, where I call her, I'm like, Veronica. But what I feel really called to say is we're all made of the same stuff. We're all made of the same stardust, the same consciousness. We all have access to the same wisdom, to the same brilliance. And one of the things that really just moves me and gets me up in the morning and has me sometimes work 22-hour days or 80-hour weeks, first of all, it just doesn't feel like work. And I know Veronica relates because she's on the same mission as me, is because we were in pain for so long. We were in insecurity for so long. We grew up together. I can speak for the both of us.
We grew up in Miami.
We grew up in Miami, where you have to be a size 0 and be perfect and blonde and outrageous and gorgeous and have a Ferrari. And it was just super like competitive and superficial. And we really there was so much story of not enoughness impregnated in us.
Yeah, which is all the whole culture, but it's amplified there.
Exactly. There's definitely certain cultures where it's super amplified, and it led to a lot of pain. And both of us, we've shared this before, that we empathize because we always had this kind of paradox experience. And I know a lot of our clients and students feel that way as well, where on one side, they knew they were here to bring a light to the world because they saw the world through these really pure eyes, and they saw throughout all the BS and all the social, illusions. But at the same time, we were part of that world, and so we also felt a lot of the pain of that world, and the insecurities and the doubts and the struggles and the withhold and comparison syndromes, and we just were blessed with many hands that held us along the way, that helped us break through.
Oh, yes.
And the experience that we're living now and continue to, it's never done. It's never done. I never stop learning. I never stop growing. I never stop having mentors, coaches, and teachers. And we never stop holding each other and having tribe. But there's just such a joy in breaking through this. And we both were living this magic carpet ride of not only, like, it's just like this, it's like the ultimate win, 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 win. I don't know how many angles of win I can experience, because we're getting to light up people. We're getting to lift up our world. And at the same time, I'm getting to know my brilliance. I'm getting to finally, in a deep, grounded, true way, know the brilliance that the great masters and teachers talk about, that is not mine. I don't claim the wisdom that's coming through me as mine, but I just learned how to open up the channel. I learned how to finally clear the voices and get out of my head and tune into that, just the same way Veronica did. And you do that, and it's just like, whoa, wow, this is what they were talking about. And then we also have our human moments.
Yes.
But I just want to inspire you, because I know all of you have felt that brilliance and that wisdom, and there is a way to finally start redirecting yourself enough in that direction that becomes your constant, rather than the pain and the struggle and the insecurity being your constant.
Yeah, it becomes home, and sometimes you step outside of that home of peace, of presence, of clarity, of confidence, of calm, and then you return home, where most people are living outside of home, just lost, frazzled. Who the hell am I? Why am I here? Trip up, screw up syndrome, all of that. And so this is a migration to be at home most of the time and learn from the times you get lost, come back home.
Amen.
Rather than the other way around. So how do people do that? Like, how do people do that? And by the way, there's some powerful comments.
Oh yes, let's go to
and Betty's here.
Betty.
Let's see. I love what Randy says here. Affirm I am more than adequate in all situations. Blooming Success says, how lucky I am to have found you guys tonight. Yay, thank you, universe. Thank you, universe, for you being here. And praising love for this moment, just so much gratitude. We pick our thoughts every moment, Randy says. Love to know we have that power. And really take that in, you guys. Randy says, we pick our thoughts every moment. Love to know we have that power.
I would love to say something about that. That's so great, Randy. So in terms of any of the three mistakes that we mentioned, whether it's the who am I syndrome, who am I to be a leader, who am I to bring this through, or in terms of feeling like a fraud, or in terms of like, oh my God, I'm going to mess up. For example, the number one fear after death that they've studied in the world is the fear of public speaking, right?
Yes.
So a lot of that fear of trip up,
I've heard it comes up first, actually.
Oh my God, okay, so it's even more than death. People are more afraid of public speaking than death. Exactly, that just goes to show. And so what is that? What is that fear? So you're thinking like, oh my God, I'm gonna get on stage and I'm gonna freak out. And so the thoughts start to accumulate, right?
Yeah.
And so this is what I always like to remember and to remind. Those thoughts that are coming up, they're only coming up in the present moment. And they're coming up inside of you. We have a consciousness. We are consciousness. We are the ones inside. Hey, are you in there and you in there? There's someone in there that's aware, right? Yeah. And that's part of how we're able to live this human experience. And then what are we aware of? How does experience get created within this, let's call it a stage or highway of awareness that we are consciousness through thoughts. Thinking happens. And then feelings are a response to that thinking. And thinking is all temporary. And thinking and feeling, let's talk about feelings. There's feelings of fear, right? These fears know nothing about the future or know nothing about the past. Fears know nothing about what's going to happen on stage. Fear is happening only inside of you as a reflection of your thinking, of your in the moment thinking. And so it's really liberating to understand this, because you realize that if you're having fearful feelings, it's only that, if I'm like feeling fear right before I'm going to get on stage, I know it doesn't tell me anything about what's about to happen. I know it's just telling me that I'm having fearful thinking in the moment, that my thinking is taking a fearful form in that moment.
Yeah.
And what I've also noticed is my attention is power.
Yes.
And so if I give that fearful thinking and feeling my attention, it builds. And then suddenly my hands start to get clammy. And then suddenly, like, I start shaking. And so then I start to spiral downwards.
So she said, my attention is power.
Yeah.
My attention is power. What thoughts are you watering, focusing, attending to?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
they're like passing like clouds.
Oh my
right?
God, exactly.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I like that one. I'll hold on to that.
You know, it's
like we're creating every single experience.
Exactly. And the experience is like passing clouds. We are the sun that's always there, unshakable, eternal, steady. And no thought can hurt me. No thought can add to my value. They're just passing clouds. And so if I can just learn to remember, oh, where are my feelings coming from? My feelings are coming not from anything. My feelings don't know anything about the economy. My feelings don't know anything about what may happen in the world. My feelings don't know about anything but my current thinking. So if I'm feeling fear, it's just my thoughts. So I'm going to let go of that thought. How? Literally. Letting go of it, putting my attention elsewhere, to my breath is really the best place, to the present moment. But more than that, I know that that's just thinking. It's just thinking. And I know that if I don't pay attention to it, as soon as I get on stage, I'm going to get really present. And thinking, as long as the stage of my consciousness is not clouded up by all that cloud of thinking, and I just get really present, thinking from a higher source can come through. And boom, I bring it. And I've learned to play with it. So I want to invite you to experiment with whatever it is that you got, you know, in that explanation right now, to just start experimenting with letting go of thinking, so that you open up the consciousness, because thought isn't bad. It's just, where's the thought coming from? Thought is good. Thought is necessary. Thought is how we experience life.
It's a gift.
It's a gift. I love that you just said that. Yes. Is the thought coming from a lower part of me, an old stale thinking, habitual thinking, patterns of thinking, and I'm clouding up the vehicle of my, you know, of the channels of my consciousness from higher wisdom coming through with all that traffic jam of old, stale, insecure thinking, or can I just relax?
There's a key word.
Relax. Relax. And make space to be informed by higher thinking. And then that's when magic happens. That's really the sweet spot. So two things that are magical happens. When you let go of thinking, you already instantly feel relaxed. So that's a gift in itself.
Yes.
But then you, because we're all channels, it's just, are we clogging up our channel with old stale thinking, or am I relaxing the moment?
Yes.
So new, fresh insight, and all innovation, all solutions come from that fresh thinking. And that's why people get their best ideas in the shower or while driving on vacation.
Oh my God.
Because you're relaxed.
Yeah.
See, there's no reaching out for insights and higher wisdom. We are receivers. We're all learning to become feminine, whether we're men or women.
Yes.
Because feminine, we're trusting, and we're falling back into receiving with ultimate trust, delicious trust.
Yes.
I'm relaxing in the moment, and then,
and in this moment, are you willing to receive? I just feel right now a lot of light coming through. So just opening up. Not even needing to understand what that is, but this woman is literally sharing something beautiful, powerful, infinite. So just choosing to open up, take a breath, relax, let go, and just starting to receive this higher frequency of love, of clarity, of inspiration, of divine alignment, of just recognizing that there is a very, very clear, unique path for you. And starting to breathe that into your whole body, into every cell of your body, receiving something good here. Ooh, yes. Okay. And taking one more deep breath. Good. And somebody in here said, I love that I was divinely brought to this place, divinely brought to this space. And that's how it works. It's not a coincidence that you've met this woman, or if you're meeting me for the first time. I want to say this woman, like Shirly Joy Weiss. Amazing, powerful, yes, presence. And so, okay, we could go literally on and on with, you know, and I don't see any questions. So I would put them in now if you have questions. And then Shirley has a gift for you. You have a free gift. You have a free gift. What do you want to say about this gift?
Well, this gift, I actually have a couple gifts. I'm going to give
You have
everyone
a lot
a
of
couple
gifts.
gifts.
You are infinitely gifted, woman.
So, you know, part of my mission, my message is to help you break through any blocks that keep you from knowing your brilliance and from sharing your brilliance. Whether you're a soulpreneur, an aspiring teacher, an aspiring coach, an aspiring change maker. And so the first free gift that I have for you guys is my free ebook, which gets into three hidden blocks that a lot of people I've noticed also have that keep them from sharing their gifts and changing our world. And so we spoke about 3 totally different ones, and you know, there's like a series of them. And so I'm constantly wanting to make everyone really aware of their blind spots. And so this is just another yummy instant download that you can get right now, and it's going to make you aware. And I've been told by a lot of people, like, whoa, I never saw that. So thank you.
That happens with her constantly. The epiphanies are like boom, and it starts to open up a whole new, like me, ordinary is someone else's extraordinary. I now have more confidence to walk into a room and give an actual in-person presentation or talk than I did before that experience with her. So those gems, they start to unlock the silliness of the mind. We have a powerful question from Janae. Oh, yes.
And I'll put this in the meantime. This is how you can get the free gift. You guys can take a screenshot or write it down. And so the ebook is called 3 Hidden Blocks Keeping You from Sharing Your Gifts and Changing Our World. And you can get it at sjwblog.com/ShineTime22. Shine Time 22. And I'll tell you, if you stick around for a couple more minutes, I'll tell you about the second gift, which is a huge gift I'm going to give you.
Okay, well, let's jump in. So, yeah. Janae, thank you. And thank you. Do you see this woman? Yes. I know that some of you who are watching this, not everyone, but some of you are going to transform from this very gift and this very masterclass. Something's shifting in you. And for some of you, it'll be more subtle, but some of you, I really feel literally something is shifting in you from reading this. I know it from receiving this gift. So I'm celebrating that, and I welcome you to come back and tell us about how that happens, because it is a given. So Janae writes in V. You asked, how do we get there? Can you guys go back to that? Thank you. There. That's exactly. How do you get there? And that's, you had such a clue in your question, Janae. It's such a good question. Do you want to go first?
Because I know we're both up too.
I know we're both.
This is coyote style teaching, slick trickster. You know we're gonna come at you with something fun.
Okay, so I don't know where you're going with
I
this,
don't know where you're going with
What's
this.
coming up for me right now is to really, first of all, recognize that the word here, the word there, if you look at the word there and here, the only difference is the letter T in the front of the word there. And I like to look at that letter as the cross that we bear, the literal cross that we are carrying in our lives, that we think one day we're going to get there somewhere, and actually look at that naturally happen. It's actually the insanity of our world, and something that's driven all of us to this belief that there someday I'm going to be good enough, or it's going to be okay, or I'm going to have the confidence. The only time there is, and the only place there is here in this moment, not there somewhere, but here. And to really own right now, Janae, you got it going on, sister. You know this deep in you. No one can take this from you, and no one can give it to you. The truth of who you are is already at your center, and it's happening here now. It's not there somewhere. And so the mind's going to kick in and go, but I'm not doing this, or I'm not da-da-da.
I need another degree.
Right, like Shirley's whole story of getting all those degrees. You're ready right now. Now, here, in this moment. So it's also letting yourself off the hook and noticing if there are any judgments, like I should be putting myself out there, or I should be doing things differently. Just notice that's just a thought, and you can choose a kinder thought, a more loving thought that says, I'm just consciously choosing not to broadcast myself right now. No problem. But it doesn't have to be like a drama, or it's going to be better later. Now is the only time it can be great in your life, right now. And I know you. So I know I can speak for everyone here, but specifically for you, because I know you. You're magnificent. You are amazing. You are powerful. You are courageous. You have extraordinary gifts. You have radical courage. You have so much joy and inspiration in you, and it's just a matter of time. So just like trust and keep celebrating yourself now in the here and now, and drop that there T cross from your back, and know that right here you're beautiful and amazing.
To sink into that. Just sink into that perfection of here. You know, of course we were going to go.
Setting. I wish you guys could see. It's
amazing. I mean, of course I was going to go to the exact same place. And we speak a lot of the same language, and a lot of our teachings are the same. And we both feel that we give a practical experience to the whole power of now teachings.
Yes.
A lot of our clients have said that, like, wow, you finally helped me live the power of now. And so the perfection that what I want to add to that perfection that she just said is that there is nowhere to get there. And it's that very energy. So I'm just going to give my unique twist on the exact same thing that she said. It's the energy of want. It's the energy of not enoughness. It's the energy of needing something more that is keeping you from experiencing the perfection and wholeness of now. And it's like this funny, ironic, cosmic joke, because you want to step into your leadership destiny, but the very thing that is going to actually help you step into your leadership destiny is just owning your perfection in the moment, not waiting for some eternal getting enough knowledge or confidence in some place. When you can finally realize you're already there, and I'm going to speak to what there even means again. You've arrived. You're here. This is your destiny, and you can just start owning the here and now. You fall back into your true self. I always say there's no cultivating confidence. There's no cultivating courage. Your true nature is confident. Your true nature is courageous.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah.
So people really, really hear it.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Your true nature is totally ready already. Is totally whole and perfect and confident and courageous already.
Yes.
And it's the very energy that the thoughts that tell you I'm not there yet. It's the very energy of that constant wanting. It's literally an energetic habit to want and yearn for more. We are all addicted to wanting and the moreness, and I'll be better when I reach some size or degree. And it's like almost like an energetic pattern. I can feel it in my body of like more. I need more. Okay, because notice you did reach an accomplishment. And then as soon as you reach that one, it was like, now next, more. And it's like an energetic pattern we're in. And it's that very energy pattern of needing more that creates a temporary veil from the confidence, calm center I already am. And as soon as I let all that go, and I come back into the present moment, and I watch this beautiful ocean and this amazing woman, and just really listen to her. Slow down by just really listening to her. Not what am I going to say, you know? And allow myself to experience here the breeze of the fan that's hitting my face and my skin, and the way my body feels on the sofa. I'm confident. I'm courageous. And there's a practice, there's a beauty of letting go of all that striving and insecurity and falling back into you. And when I learned to let go of that, I started to just naturally get on Periscope. There was no positive affirmation needed. I can do it. And once in a while, I do use that, because once in a while, those fear parts come up. And so I say, it's okay that you haven't Periscope today. I love you. It's okay.
Our times have changed. It's okay. These are first world problems, by the way. It's okay, honey, that you have not Periscope today. But the feeling is just as real as somebody who's having panic for a different reason. Yeah. It's the feeling. It doesn't matter the reason behind it.
Exactly. So
I love how you said falling into yourself. Falling into yourself. Just landing back home into yourself, into this moment. So powerful. And what she's saying, she makes it sound, just look at her, like so easy breezy. And it's a path. It's a journey of mastery. It's a journey of continuing to to choose it and grow and break through barriers and be more self-loving. And, you know, and definitely check out Shirley's free gift on like noticing the time, because this is gonna support you in going deeper with this and taking that next step. So
exactly.
sjwblog.com/shinetime22.
Yes, yes, yes. And the other gift that I wanted to have for you, so
that's right.
So Veronica shared that I just completed a 10-day challenge, and
oh, no way.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
you guys.
So here's what I'm going to do. So the 10-day challenge was, it turned out to be infinitely more. I thought my lessons, they were all live interactive lessons on hers because I thought they were going to be 10 minutes. But you can't kind of like, you know us, when we start talking, we can't stop.
Yeah.
And they turned out to be entire lessons all on their own. And there's about 6 hours of material. And it was really powerful. I was in awe of the transformations that occurred within the tribe that was created for that Courageous Soulpreneur Challenge in just 10 days. People releasing blocks and insecurity and doing stuff that they had put on the back burner for really long time and experiencing parts of themselves. And so I'm actually, I only have the replays available live to tomorrow because I'm bringing it down, and I'm actually going to sell it as a product because it's standalone product. It's going to be
so powerful, you guys.
So transformational.
And the community is just extra. Will they get the community?
Yeah, I'll tell them about the community. Totally.
Okay, holy.
So if you sign up for the ebook, what you'll do, what's going to happen is you're going to get an email from me saying, hey, here's your ebook, whatever, right? The download. So I want you to just hit reply to that ebook because it'll come back to me and my team and just say, hey, I'm part of Veronica's tribe. I saw your video, and I'm going to be selling this course, this 10-day Courageous Soulpreneur Challenge course for $297.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give it to you guys totally for free, lifetime access to these 10 remarkable, really deep lessons.
I'm like excited for everyone to experience it. And you guys, some of you did it, so I imagine they'll be
you got it. And you know, Veronica will probably plug this this URL below.
I'll put it in the comment section of this video.
So so just reply to me and just say, hey, I want in on that 10-day course. And as soon as my team, we're creating a whole website for it, so to have, you know, the videos and everything. So my team will give you access to that as soon as it's up. It's going to be up by next week. And then, we did create a Facebook community called the Courageous Soulpreneurs, Courageous Soulpreneur Challenge. We're going to change it to the Courageous Soulpreneur because tribe is such an important part of this, and we can't do this alone.
Yes.
And I was going to close down the Facebook group at the end of the challenge, but it was so rich for so many of us that we're going to keep it alive. So feel free to just look up on Facebook. It is a closed group, Courageous Soulpreneur. And come in, you know, request to come in, and we'll give you access, and we're going to be building a lot of beauty and tribe and support because all of us are here on the sidelines wanting to share and connect and support each other. And it's amazing the support and connections that are happening in this group with just 10 days, and it's only going to get bigger and better. So definitely join us.
Yes, thank you. So I would love to, well, first of all, I just love you. I love you. It made this love reach you because we love you guys so much. Like seriously, this tribe is just infusing with so much mega power. And I'm feeling so much more connected through Periscope. We're both on there, just getting to interact like this more regularly. But I would love to read a quote to finalize this beautiful.
I wish they could see this.
You know what? I was going to read you guys a Marianne Williamson quote. I think we should take them to the ocean.
You think they'll see it? Yes, let's do that.
And to complete, also, I just want to say, somebody said the poem dances says, and thank you for all your gratitude, by the way. Your notes are beautiful. But the poem dances says, such heart wisdom. We are all of us, all of us, stars, and shining all the more brightly from this. Thank you for sharing your gifts with us. You are so, so welcome. And so here we go. We are, I don't know what you guys are going to see right now, but you have got to see this ocean. That's for sure. And the sunset. Hopefully you can. So, love you guys. And just really take a moment, look at that vast expanse. And just take it in, the freedom of that bird, the freedom of you.
Because that is you.
That is You. We are everything.
You're beautiful, beautiful.
All right, my friends, we love you with all of our hearts. Thank you so much for just joining us for this. We can't see anything right now, so we don't know what's showing, what's not showing. But yes, there we have it. So we will see you soon. Enjoy getting Shirley's gift, and thank you for your generosity and your grace and your beauty and your power and your extraordinary wisdom. Thank you. I love you.
It's such a pleasure. I love you. I love this girl so much. I can't believe I get to call you my soul sister. And you guys are so blessed because you have this woman. And I don't think this is going to be the last you'll see of the two of us together.
No, and put in the comments if you want to see us do more of this. Just put it in the comments and we'll check them later. And thank you guys again. We just adore you. And woo! A bird flew by to remind you that you've got wings.
You got it. Just step up and do it. And like Veronica said earlier, you're going to know who you truly are. So just take one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, and you're going to discover how amazing, brilliant you are because you are. And if not, get in touch with both of us because we will show you how brilliant you are.
Yeah. We love you. Mwah! Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend, you guys. Yeah.